WPTV, West Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Fort Pierce. Now, live from your news leader, this is Action 5 News.
Good evening, I'm Tom Dunn.
And I'm Rochelle Scholes. Tonight, an Arctic cold wave is taking aim at South Florida.
Record low temperatures expected this evening with wind chills forecast in the single digits. Meteorologist Art Horn joins us now with the latest on this cold weather. Art?
Okay, thanks Tom and Rochelle. Yeah, it is cold. It is really going to be cold tonight. All the roads apparently north of Daytona Beach are closed tonight because of the ice and snow that is accumulated there, so keep that in mind. Later tonight, we'll have a very impressive storm system off to the northeast of us, and that is going to produce strong winds here in South Florida tonight of 20 to 35 miles per hour. And the Arctic air, which has been to the north, is going to come sweeping in here. Low temperatures by sunrise tomorrow morning, 30 in Boca Raton, 29 in West Palm Beach, about 28 in Jupiter, down to 26 degrees at Vero. Also very cold, of course, at Okeechobee, 27, 28 at Clewiston, and 28 at Belle Glade. Now, with at least a 20-mile-an-hour wind, you throw that in here and you get a wind chill, something like 4 degrees at West Palm. It'll feel like 3 degrees below zero at Vero Beach by the time the sun comes up, and about 2 below out at Okeechobee. A little chilly. Tom?
Thanks, Art. We'll check back with you later. Tonight's cold weather brings danger with it. For those who are outside, the dangers are hypothermia and treacherous road conditions anywhere ice forms. For those who are enjoying the warm indoors, fire is a possible killer. Action 5's Tiffany Williams joins us live now to tell us about preparations being made to keep people safe during this cold snap. Tiffany?
Tom, it's so cold out here now that just an hour ago, Palm Beach County's Division of Emergency Management issued a cold weather alert. They do that when the temperature is expected to drop below 35 degrees, which it is tonight. And that's their cue to open emergency shelters for anyone who might be stranded in the cold. It's no wonder these people are lining up outside the Salvation Army. It's cold outside, and it's going to get colder. The temperatures are expected to drop so low, many of the homeless could be subject to hypothermia or even death if they don't seek refuge from the winter weather.
What we're trying to do is make certain that nobody gets into a life-threatening situation.
Manny Papandreas with the county's Division of Emergency Management and the Red Cross are going to do that by opening 2 shelters, one here on Oswego Avenue in West Palm Beach, the other in Belle Glade.
The Red Cross has the personnel. They do have the blankets and the food and that is necessary to provide a place of warmth for the people that we have here that are either homeless or they are in straits or find themselves abandoned in this particular area.
And since this area could see freezing temperatures in the early morning hours for several days, the Red Cross will keep the shelters open as long as necessary. Now, if you find yourself stranded in the cold but don't have any way to get to the shelter, all you have to do is call the number on your screen, which is 233-3500, or your local police department, and the Red Cross will arrange for someone to pick you up. Joining me now is Jim Flowers with the West Palm Beach Fire Department. Jim, how long do you have to be outside before hypothermia actually sets in?
Well, actually, hypothermia will start setting in almost immediately. Your first major signs will be the uncontrollable shivering throughout your body, numbness to the fingers, and turning blue about the lips and turning pale.
How long can you stay outside before you are in danger of losing a limb or even your life?
Well, that's actually hard to say. If you start shivering, as I said before, and you realize that your motions are becoming harder and harder to do, such as speaking or any kind of fine movement, that would be the time to get inside and stay warm.
This is definitely a time when a lot of people are going to be using space heaters, but they can be dangerous if not used properly.
Oh, yes, that's true. You want to make sure that you only use the proper fuel, that you have adequate ventilation, and to keep clothing and fabrics and small children away from the heaters themselves. Also, not to ever leave them on while you're going to sleep.
Okay, thank you, Jim. One final note, Tom, don't leave your pets outside tonight because they are in just as much of a danger of freezing as we are. It's very cold out there. Tom?
Thank you. Tiffany Williams reporting live from West Palm Beach Central Fire Department. Rochelle?
Thanks, Tom. Tiffany. Florida's agriculture industry is also bracing for the cold, many fearing the worst. In Palm Beach County alone, $1.1 billion in agriculture products are at stake. And tonight, farmers are doing all they can to protect their crops. With all they own at risk, area farmers are doing everything they can to protect their livelihood. Blowers, plastic covering, watering, and chemical sprays are being used to save plants, fruits, and vegetables. At the Du Bois Farm in Boynton Beach, one of 22 Du Bois farms, workers are covering 80 acres of bell peppers at a cost of about $1,000 an acre.
Biggest priority is to get everything laid as quick as possible. You know, that's the main thing, is just to get it down as much covered as you know, the time you have left.
And at this citrus grove off Boynton Beach Boulevard, workers are spraying fruit with polymer plastic to coat and seal moisture on leaves. They're also flooding groves to insulate tree roots against cold temperatures. This despite water restrictions. This grove has 200 acres of mangoes, tangerines, grapefruits, and oranges. Many of the more fragile fruits have been picked early to save them from the cold.
Christmas Eve, the best time of the year for your consumers, the lousy weather, and we just happen to be having a baby that's coming at the same time, and so it is a nightmare, and a daymare, and an evening mare. But we're doing the best we can at this time.
At least he has a sense of humor about it. Agricultural experts say about 95% of the state's citrus crop is at risk because it isn't protected by expensive heaters and blowers. Travelers headed north are finding conditions impassable by the time that they get to the Florida-Georgia line. Greyhound Bus Lines reports its buses haven't been running north from Lake Charles, Louisiana to Jacksonville. Snow is falling on Interstate 95 and it's been closed. Linnea Carlson of the Florida News Networks joins us live from Jacksonville with the latest on the weather there. Linnea?
You can see it's snowing right now here in Jacksonville, and the combination of this snow, the bitter cold, and icy roads have created a combination that most people here will remember for this holiday weekend, but I'd say most drivers out in this mess would just as soon forget the hassles they've experienced on the road behind the wheels today. This is how many Jacksonville residents and travelers in the region spent their day, spinning their wheels. Ice at least a quarter-inch thick on most roads, closed all but 2 bridges across the St. Johns River. Driving, if one could call it that, was slow going, and vehicles that did start often didn't get very far. Many local employees who ventured out to work soon realized this Saturday would become a day off.
I'm probably going to head on back, hit a payphone and call them and tell them there's no way I can get there.
And I've gone just about every bridge I could possibly take. And I've called my boss about 5 times.
Traffic snarls made it nearly impossible for fire trucks to respond to calls, but a blaze at a local nursing home was quickly extinguished and no one was hurt. The bitter cold drove many homeless inside, packing local shelters and missions.
We've had 200 that we've worked with all day long because we did not encourage the homeless to go out of the building.
Shopping center parking lots were unusually empty here 2 days before Christmas. Last-minute shoppers stayed right in their neighborhoods.
You know, we only live down the street. We didn't have that far to go. I wouldn't go out to Regency, but I don't mind venturing this far.
Through it all, the mail carriers did what they always do, but sleet, snow, and ice made it especially difficult here.
Slippery, just cold is all, cold and damp. Not accustomed to it, just got to be careful out on these roads.
Now, the roads are not expected to get any better for at least 2 more days. The Civil Defense is advising motorists to stay off the roads in this region if at all possible. Reporting live from Jacksonville, I'm Linnea Carlson. Back to you.
Tough drive, especially for Floridians. Thanks, Linnea. That's Linnea Carlson of the Florida News Network reporting live from a wintry Jacksonville, Florida. Tom?
Coming up next on Action 5 News, revolutionary leaders in Romania are vowing to put the deposed dictator on trial, and we'll have the latest on the hunt for Manuel Noriega.
Here's a very different kind of orange juice, Tropicana Pure Premium, made with absolutely no water added and no water.
For golfers of all ages. It's our huge selection that brings you in, but it's our service that brings you back. So come see us here at the Palm Beach Golf Center on Military Trail just south of Blue Heron.
Say, did you hear the good news?
What?
227 follows the Golden Girls weekday mornings on TV5.
Hi, everybody. It's a big responsibility. I love show business. You're making this up.
No, we're not. It's the Golden Girls at 11.
I don't believe it. We're going to be on TV.
Followed by 227.
The two greatest shows on earth.
And stay informed with Action 5 News at noon. Weekdays on TV5.
Come on to the best. WPTV.
The hunt for Manuel Noriega continues tonight.
2,000 extra American troops are being sent to Panama as reinforcements. They will join 24,000 soldiers already in the country. No casualties have been reported from today's sniper attacks against U.S. troops. An American warplane repeatedly bombed one hilltop position early today without drawing any return fire. Military officials say it will take at least 10 more days to clear out the resistance in Panama City.
Revolutionary leaders in Romania say they have captured deposed President Nicolae Ceausescu today, and they're vowing to put him on trial for persecuting the nation. Insurgents are claiming control of the country after a night of ferocious battles with security forces loyal to the deposed dictator. Moscow has refused to intervene in the battle despite an appeal from a Romanian general.
Just ahead on Action 5 News, the story of a miracle baby in Boca Raton.
And the gift of health is welcome any time of year.
Hey, South Florida, this is Alex Trebek with a word to the wise Home Jeopardy viewer. Keep watching TV5 for news on how you could become a Jeopardy contestant.
At Sound Advice, unconditional support starts before the purchase. That's why we have to have salespeople who know more than just the price. That's why we have to have numerous auditioning rooms where our customers can make decisions away from the crowd. That's why we have to carry such a wide selection of the best products. And that's why Sound Advice is the soundest investment.
Good, hard, tough basketball. The 4th annual Eastern Airlines Palm Beach Classic is coming to the West Palm Beach Auditorium. Good, hard, tough basketball, December 27th and December 29th. Some of the best college teams in the nation. Boston College, Lehigh University, West Virginia, and the host team Miami Hurricanes will play for the Classic title. Come and see the quick action power plays and all the excitement of the Eastern Airlines Palm Beach Classic at the West Palm Beach Auditorium. Get your tickets today for good, hard, tough basketball.
Tonight, Palm Beach County's miracle baby is home where she'll spend the holidays with her family.
Well, Rochelle, Jennifer James was clinically dead when she was delivered on Halloween, 10 weeks rather. Doctors at Boca West Medical Center worked for 12 minutes, and finally the infant started breathing. Today, her parents, Mary Ellen and Richard James, took their little miracle home for Christmas. Jennifer now weighs 4.5 pounds. Doctors say she's perfectly normal with no brain damage, and her mother knows why she's a miracle.
She's really gone through a lot, and she's fought all along, and through the help of God and all the wonderful nurses and doctors on staff here, she's made it, and she's doing great.
Dr. Joseph Schulman, the man who saved Jennifer, says her survival without neurological damage is a 1 in 10 million shot.
Beating the odds. Gifts of health are some of the most precious that can be given. Barry Kaufman tells us about a Chicago couple whose child has been able to overcome some of the worst effects of cerebral palsy with the help of a special operation.
We didn't know if she was going to live or die.
Larissa Wells was born 3 months prematurely. She weighed just over 2 pounds. The first major concern was her immature lungs, and today Larissa still needs a breathing tube.
We didn't know about the CP until she was about 1.5 years.
But I think her cerebral palsy was limited to lower extremities from the hip down, which made it, even more, sounded more impossible that she would walk.
Well, she has good trunk balance there.
But when Larissa was 3, specialists at the Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago.
Art Horn for more on this weekend's cold front, as well as a look for the rest of the nation.
His holiday forecast for friends and relatives across the country and all of South Florida next.
You're watching Action 5 News with Tom Dunn and Rochelle Scholes.
Thousands of babies could be saved every year if only...
About the orphans.
Isn't it ironic? They're the refugees, yet we get the care packages.
They can have my cookies.
Very sweet, Margaret.
Fudge.
Yeah, they can have this. I'll just eat my heart out.
Has Charles lost the Christmas spirit?
There you are, my suave Samaritan.
There's a surprise in your stocking on the next MASH.
Monday at 5 on TV5.
Art Horn holds the American Meteorological Society seal of approval.
Well, if you think you're shivering in your boots now, hold on to them because it's going to get colder tonight and tomorrow morning.
This climate is not used to this kind of weather, and indeed tonight we're going to have some damage from a hard freeze in the area. Temperatures dropping down to the upper 20s and lower 30s, and maybe even the all-time record low temperature of 27 could be tied in West Palm Beach. 54 at noontime, but now we're down to 40 degrees. The temperature dropping rapidly, a northwest wind at 15, making it feel like 22 degrees out there already right now. Let's take a look at what we did today. At midnight, we had a high of 61. The current temperature of the National Weather Service is the low for the day at 42. We had a good rain out of this. We've had 7,800 since midnight, a half inch at the National Weather Service. We had about an inch and a half, a little more than that, inch and a half of rain out of the storm. A high tide at 5:10 in the morning. The next tide, though, is a low at 10:45 tonight. The surf at 71, sun rising at 7:06 tomorrow. Let's take a look at the temperatures now. It is very cold already. Vero 35, northwest wind at 17. Stewart 40 degrees, northwest wind gusting to 31. 44 at Boca Raton. It's already down to 37 at Okeechobee City. 43 at Belle Glade. And those temperatures are diving. And what's happening, too, is that we're getting the cold air over the warm water. And if you're going to be traveling tonight, there's going to be some fog around, especially near Lake Okeechobee. And along the intracoastal, there's going to be foggy areas in the roads that go over the intracoastal. So watch out for that. Clouds still socked in, still snowing at Gainesville 24, snowing up at Jacksonville lightly. Roads are closed north of Daytona. You can see how cold it is there. And that cold air is going to be coming in behind a powerful storm, which is out over the ocean. It's been quite a snowstorm. They've had 4 inches at Charleston, a blizzard warning out for the Cape Hatteras area tonight as this big storm really winds up over the ocean. And with that, it's going to produce strong northerly winds tonight of 20 to 35 miles an hour, driving that Arctic air right down into South Florida. Low temperatures again, 28, Jupiter in the morning, 29 at West Palm, 27 at Okeechobee, and Vero Beach at 26 degrees. And throw in that wind of at least 20 miles an hour. And you're talking 4-degree wind chill at West Palm, 6 at Boca Raton, 3 at Belle Glade, 2 below at Okeechobee, Fort Pierce at 0. That, again, is what it's going to feel like with that wind. Now, during Sunday, we're going to see that storm reluctantly move away, still have blustery winds, but at least skies will be sunny. Let's take a look at the rest of the weather and see what the folks back home are experiencing. Well, again, tomorrow it's going to be sunny, but temperatures unseasonably cold. A high of just 50 in Miami and Lauderdale, 49 at West Palm Beach, 46 at Vero and at Okeechobee City. Clewiston, a high of just 49 degrees. And there'll be some melting up north where there's anywhere from a dusting to an inch of snow and sleet, but the roads will be bad there tonight in the first part of tomorrow. So let's take a look at it for tonight. Windy and very cold, dangerously low wind chills near 0 by late tonight. Lows 26 to 31 degrees, a hard freeze, a northwest wind 20 to 35 miles an hour. Mostly sunny but windy and unseasonably cold, 46 to 51. Northwest winds at 15, gusting to 30. For Christmas, sunny and cold, 55. Another freeze in the morning, 31 degrees. And Tuesday, sunny, 62, but again cold in the morning, down around 32. A small craft advisory for northwest winds of 20 to 30 knots tomorrow. Seas 7 to 10 feet at the beaches and 12 to 18 in the Gulf Stream. And what a surprise, the inland waters will be rough.
If there's anything nice you can say about it, it does make it feel more like the holidays. So.
If you're from the north, if you're from here, you're saying, let's get rid of this.
Well, since I couldn't go north, it came here.
Okay.
It feels like the holidays. Thanks, Art. We'll see you later.
Coming up in sports, the Gators warm up North Florida with their win over South Florida, and the Buffalo Bills take the Eastern Division title, leaving the Dolphins high and dry. Bob Lorenz is next.
I caught you.
Are we playing detective?
You said you were giving up super premium ice cream.
I said I was giving up the fat and...
I was about to do something stupid.
No, but that never stopped you before.
Before I ask you to marry me, Diane, there'll be snowflakes in hell.
Don't be so sure, Sammy.
Oh, Diane, will you marry me?
No.
Wedding Bell Blues, next time on Cheers.
Monday at 7 on TV5.
So the Dolphins' chances are remote.
Yeah, you could say that. That's very fair to say. One thing we do know for sure, Miami won't win the AFC East title. Buffalo captured the East Championship for the second straight year today by predictably routing the New York Jets 37-0. Let's go to the Meadowlands. Only 21,000 showed up, the smallest Jets crowd in 26 years. They saw Larry Kinnebrew score for a 10-0 Bills halftime lead. Didn't look good for Joe Walton and what is likely to be his last game as Jets head coach. Third quarter, Jim Kelly got hot, hits James Lofton 25 yards later. It's 14-3. Cornelius Bennett was back in action for the Bills. He puts Tony Eason down on the rug. And later third quarter, Kelly picks up the blitz and unloads to Ronnie Harmon, 25 yards. It was 23-0 Jets. How's this for bad? Eason is blocked by Cornelius Bennett, who hauls it in. Joe Walton, trying to remember where he put that resume. 6 more points. Thurman Thomas bangs it in. Buffalo rips the Jets 37-0 to win the AFC East crown. The Bills win and Seattle's hopes of a wild card playoff spot. Washington right now tops the Seahawks 29-0 in the fourth quarter. The Buffalo win also damages Miami's playoff chances. The only way the Dolphins can get in now is for Indianapolis to lose to New Orleans, Pittsburgh needs to lose to Tampa Bay, and Cleveland must lose to Houston. The Dolphins will know more about their fate before tomorrow's 1 o'clock kickoff against Kansas City, because the Browns and Oilers play tonight at 8 o'clock. Here's what Don Shula and Marty Schottenheimer think about the playoff picture.
We got to do the job ourselves. There's no question about that. We felt 3 weeks ago that we had to win all 3, and then we beat New England on Sunday night, lost last week, a disappointing loss to the Colts, and we thought we were headed in the right direction, but played poorly last week. So we hope we can end up with a good one and get the help that we need.
If we're in a position that we can come out of there with a victory, a number of other things have to happen. I'm not exactly sure what all of them are. I'm sure somebody a lot smarter than me will come and tell us afterwards where we stand.
Well, we know it's cold in Gainesville tonight, but the Gators provided their fans a little heat today as they blasted South Florida on the hardwood. Let's pick it up middle of the first half. And Dwayne Shinsis throws up the hook and gets the bounce. Gators lead by 9, 26-17. The Bulls get some nice defense by Marvin Taylor as he comes up with the steal and turns it into 2. They would get only as close as 6. Watch B.J. Carter at the other end with the bullet pass to Livingston Chapman. Florida led 36-26 at the half. Second half now. And look at Chapman get room to work on the left side low from Shinsis. He takes it in for a pair. Later, Ronaldo Garcia will pop from long distance. That three-pointer padded Florida's lead to 18. And we'll finish it off with the big man. Shinsis turns and lofts the one-hander. Florida crushes South Florida 91-54. Let's start down the top 25. Number 5, Illinois plays Wisconsin Green Bay tonight. Number 6, Michigan just beat Seton Hall. Oklahoma plays Loyola Marymount tonight in what will be a big scoring affair. 10th-ranked Arkansas over Virginia Military. Indiana crushed Iowa State. Duke and Washington do it tonight. 13th-ranked Nevada Las Vegas took on 16th-ranked Iowa today, which impressed Jerry Tarkanian, as you can see. Greg Thompson buries the J for Iowa. They led early by 5. But right back fires Travis Bice with the 17-footer for the Runnin' Rebs. And Larry Johnson will follow with a mean power dunk. You know, they aren't called the Running Rebels for nothing. Watch this fast break coming up. It will end up in Johnson's hands again with the 2 as UNLV beats Iowa 97-80. Let's round it out with a couple night games tonight. St. John's playing Niagara, Michigan State playing Eastern Michigan. With the weather the way it is, it's hard to believe that the warm weather sport of polo is about to begin. The International Challenge December 31st will kick off Palm Beach Polo's new season. Once again, White Birch will be the favored team, but there are many others gaining ground quickly. It depends on the horses, and the horses are getting better.
Kick it back into their zone.
You know, over the last 2-3 years, teams as my personal team, you know, or Guy Wildenstein's team, Les Diables Bleu, we have tried to copy and improve that organization. And through years, you know, it takes years of dedication and training of horses. Horses is probably the most important thing in the game.
2 afternoon hockey games. The New York Islanders over Pittsburgh 8-6 and Boston beat Detroit 6-5. A complete recap on that and more coming up at 11 on the Highlight Zone.
Check with you then.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Just ahead on Action 5 News, the North Pole comes to South Florida.
Breaking good news for the first time on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Oprah, Monday at 4 on TV5.
Here's to the sunrise.
Here's to the evening when it's there.
A taste of the good life.
This is living as good as it gets.
Our life is broken sound. It's where you wanna be.
A life of excitement.
It's everything you dream.
Our life is broken sound. It's where you wanna be.
Your motto at St. Andrews, Boca Raton.
Coming up on the Night Beat, we'll take a look at how the area is coping with the cold and also a look back at the 80s tonight. Special emphasis on the politics of the decade.
Before we leave you, we want one more quick check of the weather so we know what to expect, if we don't already.
Just in case you hadn't heard, it is getting pretty cold out there. Let's take a look at what temperatures are expected to be in the morning at sunrise, which is right around 7, expecting about 26 in Vero, 27 at Okeechobee City, 29 in West Palm Beach, but you throw in the wind of about 20 miles an hour and it'll feel like it's 4 degrees with no wind. Feel like 3 below in Vero and 2 below in Okeechobee City. In other words, very, very cold. Don't forget the pets. Don't forget to cover your exposed pipes outside. You don't want anything freezing.
It's going to be hard to get up in the a.m.
I'm not gonna.
Thanks, Art. That's our news for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll be back at 11. Until then, have a nice evening and try to stay warm.